Great. Hey, thanks. This is Dr. Reece, Steve Reece at OrthoVirginia in Richmond, Virginia. I just wanted to put a video together for you guys at Richmond Volleyball Clubs. First, thank you so much to the Richmond Volleyball Club and the relationship that OrthoVirginia has had with them over the years. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for staying home. Thanks for staying healthy. Hope you're staying motivated to stay fit too. We're going to show you some simple things today for shoulder, both stretches and strengthening, to try to help you that when this thing does clear and you're back to playing, that you'll be strong and ready to go. I have Trevor with me today to show some of these things. We'll start first with stretches, and I like to start first with just really simple wall stretches. So Trevor, if you can go to the wall. So I like face to the front first and then just walk the wall and try to get your shoulder as extended and as you can and stretch. You can get into the door frame even and stretch a little bit there. And then same thing to the side. So walk the wall to the side. Yeah, just start low, that's it, and walk all the way up and then lean in as best you can. Now, some of you won't have shoulders that work that great, and so you may not get all the way in, but go as far as you can tolerate and then hold that stretch for a 10 count. And I'd say do 10 to 15 reps of these before you get going on the strengthening side. The other thing you can do for a great stretch for external rotation is get in the door frame itself. And you can get both sides and just literally lean gently into the door frame, and that'll really open your chest up and stretch the front side of the shoulder and get you ready to get rolling. Those are the simple exercises that I like to do first. Cross arm adductor too is the last thing. And the posterior capsule, let me see, what handed are you? Are you right-handed?
Yeah.
So for overhead athletes, and let's face to the side first so you can see this, and we'll actually do the left side first. So for overhead athletes, a lot of time, external rotation is extreme, which makes you guys great athletes in an overhead sport. But the internal rotation is what will be restricted. Now this is his non-dominant arm, and you can see he gets, if 90 degrees is his pocket, he gets almost there. But if you go to, if you go, now overhead athletes, he's not particularly overhead. If you're a baseball thrower, if you're a volleyball player, a lot of times you'll have maybe even excess external rotation. But when you go to internal rotation, a lot of folks that are on their dominant side, it'll be short by 40 or 50 degrees. There's a lot of reasons for this, but number one is posterior capsule tightness. So the capsule on the back side of the shoulder tightens down. There's a couple different ways to stretch this. This is the cross arm or the adductor stretch, where you go adduction across the body and really sort of lean in with your opposite shoulder, keep your elbow locked out straight, and you'll really feel a stretch on the back side, and that helps free up the posterior capsule. And so when you do this at home, you'll notice that immediately you'll get more rotation. You can see he's already gained 20 degrees of rotation just with that one stretch. After the strengthening stuff, we'll show you one more called sleeper stretch, which I recommend all the volleyball players do at the end of their workouts every time they go through the workout. We'll show you the sleeper stretch at the end. Let's do some strengthening stuff. I've highlighted on my list scapular stability. So the rotator cuff, the four small muscles of the shoulder that are responsible for rotation, they do a ton of work in overhead hitters. But scapular stability has got to be number one on the list because it's often overlooked. I was thinking of things you could do at home without any equipment, and tree huggers came to mind first. So tree huggers, where you want to hold your shoulder blades back first, really get them to kiss one another on the back side, and then hug the tree, all right? And then here, and hug the tree. You can do it with your hand in a neutral position, so just hands flat. So neutral position, do 10 or 15 of those, and now thumbs up. So thumbs up, tree hugger. So just like you pretend like you're hugging the tree, really emphasize the back side. Now hug on the front side, and then you can do thumbs down as well. He's right, you can do thumbs down, same thing. Really strong to the back, reach to the front, hug the tree. All right, those are scapular stability exercises without any tubing. Now we can go to the tubing and try some of those. And you can get a piece of this TheraBand or tube and tie it to the door frame in your house. These are readily available commercially. Let's do scapular retraction first. So scapular stability first. So again, it's almost like a seated row position. So pull back and overemphasize, scoot a little bit closer. Overemphasize your shoulder blades kissing one another. So try to scoot one step closer and pull your elbows up a little bit higher, almost neutral, elbows up, right there. So really pull back, hold that position, and then resist the movement forward, pull back and hold. And again, 10 to 15 reps of this a couple times a day would be great. That's scapular stability, or easy scapular stability stuff to do at home. Now, let's do the rotator cuff. And rotator cuff does several things. Internally rotate the shoulder, externally rotate the shoulder, both by your side and in a functional position. And then what are called diagonal P&F exercises to try to get some functional resistance as well. And so we'll start with internal rotation at 90 degrees to your side. So it's internally rotate. And we'll do the same thing in a functional position. So kneel down there. There you go. And try to get to 90 degrees. There you go. And then internally rotate that way. That's perfect. Great. So again, 10 to 15 of those, and you'll really start to feel those. It doesn't take much to get going there. And then external rotation. So you just face the opposite directions, or you can do, yeah, well, tell you what, why don't you do left arm? That's good. Yeah. So we'll keep facing him, and then external rotation with elbow in a neutral position like this. And again, 10 to 15 reps, nice and slow, you're in no hurry. And then external rotation in a functional position, which you can get, pull up, that's it, perfect, just like that. And boy, I tell you, the back side of the shoulder is almost always weaker than the front. This is a tough one to do. So 10 to 15 reps, doesn't take much resistance to really get this thing fired up. All right, that's awesome. So that's the rotator cuff stability stuff. Diagonal P&Fs you can do. And again, this also works the cuff and the scapular stabilizers. I'll stand on this for him and see if we can get this set up. So what you want to do is you want to cross over and come up almost, that's it. Good, just like that. Cross body, Y position, cross body, Y position, that's great. So these diagonal P&Fs, they'll get you going too. So they're scapular stabilizer and cuff at the same time. And do right, left side, 10 to 15 reps, a couple times a day. You can do both sides. And you can go opposite, that's it. You can go low to high, cross, and then low to high with the left as well. That's awesome, just like that. And then lastly, I like to show folks, the overhead athlete folks, is two different things that are dynamic functional exercises against resistance. And the first is, let's do the prep phase first. So if we can face this way so she can see it. Right, so I'll step one and down low here and do the prep phase first, facing her.
Come on, you going this way, going.
Yeah, like you're prepping. So you want to keep your, that's it. You want to keep your left foot forward if you're a right hand hitter. Keep your hips closed and really focus first thing, Trevor. Go back and really get the scapular stability first and then rotate. So scapular stability, rotate. Scapular stability, rotate. Scapular stability, rotate. Just like that. So that's prepping to hit. And then next is actually the hit phase. So get on this side. Have mom, dad, little brother stand on it at home, and now it's the actual swing phase. So go overhead a little bit more. So overhead like you're hitting. Overhead. So again, open hips, overhead and through, overhead and through. And again, it doesn't take much resistance to feel this one work pretty good. 10 to 15 reps. You can do both sides, although obviously the dominant hit side is the one that's preferred. But I would do both sides at home. Lastly, after you do all your exercises, both stretching, strengthening, sleeper stretch is really key. So after every workout for overhead athletes, we try to teach them the sleeper stretch, which you can do your own at home. So again, lie on your side, your dominant arm, his is his right, and come back up to 90. So you want to get your elbow flat on the ground, try to keep your body flat on the ground, engage his core, and then push gently down to where the goal here is to get his palm all the way to the ground ultimately. Now, he can't do that yet, and I bet you most overhead athletes at home can't do that either. But if you keep working and stretching the posterior capsule, it'll free up shoulder motion, which keeps the rotator cuff tendon from getting pinched when you do repetitive motion. Let me help you up here, man.
Is that?
You got it?
Appreciate it.
Listen, guys, thanks for listening in. Good luck out there. Call if you have any questions.